Hi, I'm Dr. Mac Adkins, and I'm pleased that you're taking this course on fostering engagement in your online courses. I'm excited that you're interested in this topic because it tells me that you want to do a better job as an online instructor. And I'm pleased that you've already attained the CEDI certification and that you're renewing that through this course. I too am an online faculty member. I've been teaching online for about 15 years now, and I've got to tell you, engaging your learners continues to be a challenge and always will be a challenge. That's why we need to stay abreast of the new technologies, the new theories, the good practices, because we can always get better at what we do. We're never perfect, right? So, how will we approach this course? We're going to start out with a video where I share with you just some of my reflections over the last 15 years of my experience as an online faculty member. Some of the things that I've seen have been good and not been good in regards to engaging online learners. And then you're going to be reading some from a text. I've got very good news. The textbook that's selected for this course is an open source textbook, which means there's no cost to you, but it's a real legitimate textbook. It's very good. As you're in the course, there will be 2 units, and so the textbook is divided into 2 files, and I want you to read the textbook from within the learning management system. That's very important because as you're reading it, that counts toward your course time. Then, when you get to the very end of the course, I will provide that full textbook to you in a single PDF file that you can keep and refer to after the course. But make sure, as you're reading it during the course, that you read from the link within the unit. After you've read some from the text, you're going to look at 2 examples of activities that are created with software called Articulate that are examples of ways that you can have an activity that fosters learner to content interaction. In those activities, we're going to be looking at Bloom's taxonomy of learning. Also, we're going to be looking at 5 principles of instructional practice for fostering engagement. Then you'll read an article about different categories of engagement, things such as the categories of interaction, learner to learner interaction, learner to faculty interaction, learner to content interaction. Those things will be talked about in that article. And then finally, you'll look at an article about strategies for fostering interaction in your course. That's kind of a practical article. Then in Unit 2, we continue that practical nature of the course because I want you to leave this course with some ideas, some tangible things that you can do, some good practices that you can put into your courses that will help you foster more engagement with your students. Again, we begin that chapter by reading the second half of that textbook. Then we're going to look at an article about how to engage and inspire your students. The next article is a list of 30 ways to motivate your students. It's a very good list. I really like that list of 30 things. And after you've read that, there's actually going to be a poll in which you indicate anonymously how many of those 30 things you have used in your online teaching. And I think it will be interesting for you to see as a group how many of those good practices you guys are doing. After that, there will be an article about the difference between passive and active interaction. And then finally, we're going to wrap up the course by looking at some software called Articulate. Now, the purpose of this course is not to promote any one piece of software. In fact, I provide you with a link to a website that reviews multiple types of software, but I had to pick one for an example, and so I chose Articulate. And you're going to look at about a dozen different examples of types of engagement activities that you can embed into your course. I think you'll find that useful. And then finally, the course wraps up with a final exam. It will be a 30-item exam. It's pulled from a pool of 90 items. All of the questions are objective question types. So I hope that you find this content interesting. I hope you find it engaging. And I hope that you see that we're trying to teach somewhat by example in this course of integrating video of me talking about things, integrating activities that you do, integrating polls, integrating textbooks. So I hope that we're practicing what we preach here about learner engagement. Welcome to the course.